welcome. I'm Karen Marsdale. I'm on staff at the Greater Reading Chamber Alliance, and we're here with another episode of Chamber Spotlight. And I'm thrilled to have a dear, I won't say old, but a dear friend who I've known for many, many years through a number of iterations of his career, and that is Santo Marabella. So Santo, welcome.
Thanks so much. It's really, really wonderful to be here.
It's great to get to interview you because we're always kind of just passing in the night,
helping each other along the way.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
So you have had, when I first met you, I think you were just beginning your teaching career at.
Wow, that's a long time
Moravian?
ago. That's a long time ago.
Yes.
26 years ago.
Because you had done the leadership Berks work, and I had just joined the chamber, and so you were on to another career.
Well, we do go way back, don't we?
I know.
That's really cool.
It really is. But you've done a lot, and you've not only from a career perspective, but sort of engaging or interfacing your passions with the arts and with film into career and into volunteer work
and community, absolutely,
and into community.
Yeah.
So let's talk first a little bit, because we could talk for hours about this. So you really found a passion in community, but talk a little bit about what that niche was that you saw.
Well, it started with the chamber, honestly, and it always comes back to the chamber, which I'm really proud to say, because I was the first executive director of Leadership Berks.
Correct.
And I had so many opportunities as a kid in grad school who was just trying to get some extra money, and I think it would be a passion. But what it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about how I bring myself into a situation, how I deal with people, but what I learned about the community is about our needs and about how special we are in many ways, and how we're similar in so many ways. And when you reach out to people and you give them a little bit of information, a little bit of training, it helps them find their passion, because we place people on boards and committees. So it was a really wonderful way for me to kind of connecting with the community. I was there 12 years. Half of that was when I started at Moravian, which is a place I love, a community I love. It's my first priority in terms of my career, because they're so good to me, and I love teaching still, as long as you reinvent yourself.
Right, exactly.
And boy, have I been doing that a lot. Like, those jokes just don't work quite as well as they used to.
These darn millennials.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, it's changed. So it was not-for-profit organizations and boards. I did a lot of training. My dissertation, all the stuff was around that. And I think that ran its course for me, because I notice when I get stale, before I get too stale, before it gets too noticeable to others. And so we have a choice then. We can either make a change or we can get complacent. And
sure.
I don't want the complacency. So it kind of has shifted into a lot more with theater and film, which has always been a passion and an avocation, but never really a career. And until the last few years, the last probably 7 to 10 years, especially in the last 5, with working with Lynn Nottage and Tony Gerber. This is Reading, and so it's been great.
So for those of you who don't know, I think really, Santo, you were very instrumental in bringing that Lynn and her husband to Reading, the special venue that we had.
Sure, the installation.
This is Reading, the installation, kind of that, I think, really was, for many people, a pivotal point in saying, oops, it's time to wake up.
Yeah, I really believe that. I think Lynn chose Reading because of her curiosity and the way she approaches her art as kind of like a social worker who approaches by asking questions, not making judgments. I loved her way of saying curiosity without judgment. And working with her and Tony for 5 years, sweat came out of that. I certainly didn't have anything to do with writing it, but I had a lot to do with helping her find her research and find her story.
And I think recently, or are they still in Philadelphia?
They're in New York.
No, but I think Sweat was in is it coming or
this fall?
This fall.
This fall, the first regional production.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
wonderful.
I understand. So I think what's happened is, and it's funny because even with my work with Tracy Schott, we've been collaborating for 9-10 years. every project we can work together on, whether it's been Film Fest, but also recently with the TV pilot with Franklin Street Station. You know, my passion has always been making a difference, and it's come out in different ways, and I'm really blessed that I've been able to use the arts as a way to channel that, but also as a way to engage people. Because Tracy is a social worker, I have a social work background, and we find that the arts is a wonderful way to affect social change in a community.
Sure.
By using this. And Lynn, it was weird because Lynn really gets that. Lynn was all about that, and I think it was her mom who was a social worker, or her dad, one of her parents. So she had that sensibility about her, and it's just a wonderful way to approach meaningful art, really meaningful art.
Right. And I think art is, to some degree, a great leveler of people, because you can be, you know, just as we can be in a theater with people that are all different than we are, and yet we're all enjoying something that's kind of beyond our maybe ability to either do it, write it.
Sure. But there's a shared enjoyment and a shared community around it.
Exactly.
I find that when I look back on things, everything I've been doing is teaching. Whether it's in a classroom, whether it's writing, whether it's producing it's been odd, and I didn't realize how pervasive teaching is.
Right, how that was kind of the...
With the leadership Berks, I would do that. But, you know, now I have the pleasure of working with your colleagues over at the Center for Business Excellence, and working with, you know, so it's some teaching again, and it's a different kind of teaching too.
It is, and
it's
so
fun.
I want to jump into that too, because you've got on the table here a book that you've written, The Practical Prof, and
based on my newspaper columns with the Reading Eagle.
Yes. So you've got this whole
kind of like an alter ego,
this
persona,
this other side that, you know, the professor in you, the artist in you comes together, and students probably have the great opportunity to have a little bit of a different way of hearing a lecture, or the subject matter being introduced in a very different way. So talk a little bit about, because I know our time's going to go fast, but talk a little bit about you know, what your heart, how your heart, you said Moravian was, you know, almost like your family beyond your family.
Alma mater, for sure. Yeah. I think what it comes down to this. It comes down to this for me is this philosophy I have about managing with the heart in ways that feed the spirit. That's my kind of mantra with the Practical Prof, with my writings, with whatever I'm doing, because I think you don't need me to tell you about finance, you don't need me to tell you about accounting, and even marketing, as much as I love it. There's a lot of great experts. I think my contribution to the discussions around how do we become better at our work, and at work, is all about this issue of people stuff, the things that, you know, we used to call them soft skills. Don't say that around me. I start my rant.
Oh, good. We're going to have a further discussion on that, because that. I think that is such an internal sort of a buzzword that somebody else is like, what are you talking about, as opposed to something hard like this. Our time is just about up. We're going to have you back for second discussion, but.
Well, you know, the thing that helped me, just real quickly,
we mentioned that early on, but what really did help you with what we do?
Volunteering and connecting with our community.
Super.
Honestly,
and
that really does it.
That, you know, honestly, there is nothing like the Chamber. You know, people have said to me, it helped me build my business. How did that build your business? Because you know what? People do business with those they know, they like, and they trust. And when you build connections and relationships with people.
Yeah. And if you're authentic about it.
And if you're, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. You know, if you're going to say you're going to do it, you need to do it.
Yeah.
That's so important. And you know, and you're just a perfect example of someone who has done so many things, but you know, sort of interfaces with this organization that some people I've heard people say, I find no value. It's like, you find no value because you're not putting yourself into the organization, because there is always value when you can bring people together.
Absolutely.
For a number of different things. Are there any other pearls of wisdom? I loved that saying that you.
I don't know. It's just a lot of openness that I've had to learn to look at myself, and you know, it doesn't start outside. It starts here, and my social work background and education, social work really helped me kind of like, no, that's not anybody else's. It's my responsibility.
Sure.
I make a difference with me. And then when you keep, that's a continuous lifelong process, but
Absolutely.
as you do that, you can help others too. Because then I start sharing that and the insights that come from that, I think can be helpful, whether it's in teaching or writing.
Exactly. You know what, and that's what life is really about.
Yeah.
Well, Santo, it's been wonderful having you.
Thanks, Karen.
I can't wait to hear about the next thing you're into, because
New book
there's
coming out
new book, that's
in
right.
August.
New book that we were just
The
talking
Lessons
about.
of Caring.
The Lessons of Caring, and we'll kind of hold that there until we can really, because it's a topic and a subject that so many people are dealing with. So we're gonna have you back to talk about that.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much, and I
Thank you.
appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Karen.